All right, so let's turn this music down and let's have a talk. Hi, y'all. Welcome to. Hello? Oh, what the hell? I've been having some technical difficulties trying to set up this simulator, which is why I've been taking so long. It's also why I'm late. I have, but welcome to anyway the Pretty Pink Playthrough Drag Race Simulator. It's been very difficult to get the simulator to work, and I'm still having to work on it. So I'm probably going to just show you the process of me doing that, and then we're going to get into it. So it's going to take a few minutes, but I want you to bear with me. I wanted to go live so that we could, like, all be on the same page about it. I do want to give a shout out to the icons of the day, who are shout out to Latte Orca, shout out to CMB 122498, and shout out to Majestic Milotic. Thank y'all for showing up on time, and shout out to everyone else too. Hello to Damsel, hello to Comet, hello to Paradise, hello to everyone. Thank you so much for coming to the stream today. I'm really excited to do this. I know I kind of did it on a whim, but it is a fun little experience to have with y'all. So I am excited to like get into it. It's taken me a little time to get it together, more than I really wanted it to. And like now I felt okay, so here's the thing. Let's just go to the screen. I will show y'all what's going on. So we are what is it? Window. So here is the Drag Race Simulator, right? And it works. I mean, it works, right? And we have the majority of the cast in here. But as I'm trying to like add pictures for them, I've had a lot of struggles doing that. And so I just, I started doing it because it only takes the pictures through like what is it? Like a web file, not a web file. What is it called? A link. It only takes the images through a link, and so I was trying to add the images through links. I was trying to do it through Google, and it didn't really work for me. And then I was trying to do other stuff, and it also didn't work for me. So I got really stressed out about it. And currently, we are also missing multiple of the contestants. So we have some of them 10 out of 18, but I need to add more. It's just real complicated. It's asking me to add them through a link though, which means that these images have to be uploaded to the website in order to actually put them onto this simulator, and that's very complicated. I don't mind doing that. It's just that I don't know how to put them up there. You know what I mean? Because I had pre-made images that I was really ready to use. And so like some of these images are kind of fucked up. On top of the fact that I added all of the cast for this season that I'm setting up, and it's not letting me like actually get all of them up there right now, because like as I'm typing them in, I'm like, oh wait, this person's on here, this person's on here. So we have currently Tamari, Foam, Belly, Miss Marianne, Nova. Miss Marianne's name is spelled wrong. No, it's not. Duchess, Cookie, Delta, Aura, Maruchan, but we're missing some. So like Sunnyside needs to be on here. Sunnyside is on here. We need Tina Snow, who is on here. Okay, who else are we missing? We have Maruchan. That's 17. 16 would be Tamari. So Tamari's on here. Nova, we're missing. We have Nova. We have Miss Marianne. We have Belly, who's 11. Aura is on here. We have Delta. We have Cookie. We have Duchess. So who's 7? We have Foam on here, yes. Megatron. Megatron should be able to be on here though. Megatron. So that's Megatron. We need Stella. See, and like I put Stella in here already. Like I made like a custom, and I added Stella, and Stella's gone. We need Mantra, right? Crash Out, right. Follow me. Okay, see, Mantra's not on here. And then Peachy is not on here either. And I added them already. I remember them being on here. Marita Knight is not on here. And Switchblade is not on here. So those just like the first 5. Isn't this like so like, ugh, like... So here's Marie Denite. Her stats. I actually did personally like write out, do all the stats for all these Pokemon, but here's Marie Denite's stats. For acting, she's a 7. Comedy, she's a 10. The dance, she's a 13. Design, she's a 12. Improv, she's a 7. Runway, she's a 15. And lip sync, she's a 10. And now I need an image for her, so that would be need to be me going to, what is that bitch called? Sneasler. See, it's just like, it's annoying, but I'm just trying to get it together and like, you know, really get it in line so that we can actually have this event. Like, let's see if this one works. It does. So if we add her, Marie Denite is on here. Okay, so how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We need 4 more. We need Switchblade. I had to pull up for Miss Drag Race. Miss Race. Right. Hi, Izzy. How are you doing? What is everybody up to? I know y'all are waiting for me. I'm sorry it's taking so long. I was ready. Actually, I was prepared. But then I ran into technical difficulties, which took me like, you know, 40 minutes to recover from. Let's do this one. Is this a good image? It works. Okay, so for Switchblade, he has a 7 for acting, a 7 for comedy, a 14 for dance, a 10 for design, a 15 for improv, a 12 for runway, and an 8 for lip sync. But actually for comedy, I wanted to lift him up to 10. So there's Switchblade. So that should just add another. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're missing, we have Marie. Now we need Peachy. And then, you know, the shitty part about adding Peachy is that Peachy's a female Raichu. You know how hard it would be to find a good image of a female Raichu that comes in a link that ends in PNG, that also, or whatever the fuck, that ends in PNG and that also shows the female form that's also shiny. Anyway. Bye, Comet. Comet's leaving. I just got a haircut on the clock. Don't tell my boss. Get into it. Driving home from work. I just finished a late lunch. How was your lunch, Latte? Hope you're doing well. Pokemon White 2 while next to a river. Nice. Okay, so Peachy actually has good stats, though. 10 for dance, 5 for design, 12 for improv, and then 6 for runway. And yeah, I wanted her to be a little bit higher in dance, so I'm gonna give her a 14. And then for the lip sync stat, she's also a 13. We need to find an image for shiny. What is that thing called? Raichu. We're almost ready. We're almost ready. We're almost ready. Just trust me. Just trust me. That's not gonna work. I know that one's not gonna work. Work, 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 work. For some reason, this picture is sending me, so I'm gonna try it. It's not gonna work. Yeah, this website is just a little it's a little iffy. It's not working for me. This one worked. Hold on. I need to copy the image link. Put it into the Drag Race Simulator. That works. Add queen. PG has been added to the list. So now we should have 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Who are we missing? So we have Marita Knight, we have Switchblade. We're just missing Mantra, Stella, and Megatron. Right? Okay. let's do Stella. And she has symbols in her name. I need to copy it from the. Okay, and then we could do that. I need to find a shiny Butterfree image. Hey, do you listen to Kim Petras? This area of Guada is nice, but there's no Wi-Fi, so my signal's due to Kaka. I'm sorry. Congrats. Who are you graduated today? Congratulations. Oh my gosh, get into it, Latte. Wait, were you in college or were you in school? Like what school were you in? I didn't know if you were in high school, but you know, if you were, that's your tea. Like, what did you graduate? And if you were in college, what did you graduate? You know, what is your like thing? So for Stella, it's a 10, a 12, a 12. Stella's a funny bitch, mind you. She has no improv abilities, and then we're gonna give her a good lip sync, and then that's gonna be Stella. And then after Stella, we need to add Mantra, and that should be it. Is it Stella and Mantra? And then I'll do another head count. Problematique. It's not gonna work. I graduated college. I got my bachelor's in digital media design. I plan to be an animator. Oh, get into it. Get into it. Congrats. Let's try this one. See, because it'll work in the preview, but then when it's like it has to take in all, it has to take the link in, and then like it'll be like, this is not a valid link. Like you can't use this image. Ugh. I should have like troubleshooted this a little bit better or whatever before I got into it. But here we are. Hey y'all, thank you for coming to my stream today. I appreciate you. This is a GIF. This is Mantra. Mantra has a 10, 7, 12, 15, 10, 15, 12. Okay, so we should have 18. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Okay, we have everyone. Let's go. Are y'all ready? Let's set up the simulation. This should be all of them actually, because I don't have any other customs, so that's fine. Damn for eternity into the afterlife. Thank you for streaming. Oh, well, thank you for coming. That's so slay. I hope you find a lot of, yeah, exactly. Get into it. I'm like, that's really inspiring, Latte, to hear. And just as we're ready to do it, the page stops responding. Girl, if this shit doesn't work, That's hot. This hell is better with you. We're burning up together, baby. That makes two. Oh my god. Just when I was ready. Just when I was ready. Just when I was ready. I'm about to crash out. Y'all want to see me crash out? Y'all want to see me crash out? Where's that?
Just as I thought.
Trash.
Trash.
Yup. Just when we're ready. This hell is better with you. To eternal damnation. All right. So let's go over the Meet the Queens because I wrote some bios for each individual icon. Are y'all ready for that? The way it's not taking it. Hello? Hello? There we go. Cause the devil's wearing Prada and loves a little drama. Ooh. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Pretty Pink Playthrough Drag Race Simulator Season 1. Today we are going to be going over a series. We are going to be simulating a drag race in the style of RuPaul's Drag Race with multiple Pokemon that are iconic and have been made iconic through different playthroughs and other Pokemon gameplay that I have done on stream. And we are going to meet the queens. So the first one that we're having up is actually Switchblade, the Shiny Gallade. And his bio says, this shiny hunting icon hails from the wistful fields of Kitakami. In this jet-setter's time on the global Pretty Pink stage, he has perfected his ability to act fast when dealing with random and unpredictable Pokemon around the world. He also was trained in ballet as a Ralts before moving into fencing. Let's see how Switchblade's edgy yet sleek style makes him into a drag superstar. Marie DeKnight, the Sneasler. Another edgy queen, Marie DeKnight hails from the ice-cold areas of the Coronet Highlands. She holds a reputation in Hisui as a late bloomer, but when she found her footing in the drag scene, she quickly became a household name. Many of the locals call Marie an all-rounder when it comes to her talents, but this drag superstar in the making calls herself a fashion queen with a passion for horror and interesting arm accessories. Peachy, the shiny Raichu. This cutie pop comes from just across the river from Cortando in Paldea, but her career reached its heights in the local drag scene in the Jubilife City area of Sinnoh. Peachy is well known as a headliner for her playthrough, and she had a major return to the team in the Pretty Peach Girly Pop Lock. This true all-rounder type queen will shock your hearts and minds as she takes this competition by thunderstorm. Mantra, the shiny Arboliva. The plant princess of Paldea is here to represent the grass-type gals from around the Pretty Pink Pokemon world. Mantra the Arboliva is a doll you just can't read, and yet you still want more from her. Mantra studied at FIT for a few years before she decided to pursue her drag career, and now she is a local name in Paldea with hopes to become a global star in the new year, whether she wins or not. We have Stella, the shiny Butterfree. The big back Butterfree that could. This shiny icon made a name for herself in Kanto before she even stepped on a stage. Stella is not only a viral social media queen, but in her tenure, she has also created a cult following in the penthouse as a star-crossed lover with her long-distance Kai trade known as Lemon Drop from Hisui. Don't let the controversy fool you. This bug buzz sensation is a runway superstar, and she's stamping her feet to the crown. Megatron the Umbreon. He might not mega evolve, but this icon is still a force to be reckoned with. Megatron is a hometown hero here to bring awareness to the little drag scene out in the Turffield area of Galar. After his run in the OG Pretty Pink playthrough in his region, he went on to pursue a name in the underground scene in Winden. He then moved on to bring his drag style back home, opening a club and seeing how the culture reacts to his fierce drag presence. He wants to be the dark pulse in the competition. Foam, the Mega Blastoise. Foam started his career as a war turtle go-go dancer in Viridian City before pursuing drag. This mega evolved industrial rocker really knows how to heat up the stage with his scalding hot stage presence and dazzling personality. While he knows how to work a stage, and he definitely stands out as one of the more manly pop icons of the playthrough, can Foam really contend with the more feminine Pokemon in the event of a drag style showdown? Either way, he wants to be the hydro pumped right he wants to be hydro pumped right into the heart of the audience. Duchess, the Lopunny, the reigning royal supreme of the original Hisuian team in the Pokemon Legends Arceus Pretty Pink playthrough. Duchess may not be the most dazzling girl in this season's cast, but she has a blessing from the Starlight Express in the early era of her career, because she was actually named specifically by Damsel. Allowing Duchess to play rough with her strong style Allow Duchess to play rough with her strong style into your heart while she takes on the competition on the Pretty Pink stage. Cookie, the shiny Megalopunny. The Pretty Pink Princess from the Wild Zone 6 is ready to bounce to the top of the competition with her mega powers and her riptides intact. Miss Cookie might not be the most unique girl in this season, but she is 100% a standout, at least in her own mind. In Lumiose, this Grand Dame is known as the lip sync assassin, but will she be ready? But will she really need to kill anyone with her talent? That's what it says. If she's never gonna need to lip sync, only time will tell. Delta, the shiny Quaquaval. Delta the Quaquaval has had multiple TV and movie roles prior to taking on drag competition seriously. She was a child star, being hatched on camera right outside of her hometown, Medali, and now she's cracking the code in the Pretty Pink drag world and beyond. And the reason why I say that is because if you remember, I actually hatched the egg for Quaquaval on screen. CMB was the one who called that I was going to hatch it on the stream. And I did, and like that's documented. We can actually go and watch that video. I know that's right. Delta the Dancing Diva has experience in reality TV, but her dance training is what she thinks will really set her apart, and it wasn't just some lessons she took as a duckling. Let's see if Hurricane Delta will sweep us up this season. We have Sunnyside, the Volcarona. Sunnyside is a lesser-known queen from Paldea who immigrated to Galar to perform and start a name for herself. Sunnyside is a daytime drag icon, mostly working the brunch circuit around central Galar, with cosigns from some household names in the area and some of the icons we know and love. Her drag house might be iconic, with baby queens coming behind her that will for sure be powerful contenders in the future. But will this dive bar baddie stand out? Watch the season to see. Sunnyside is the Volcarona that we use in Masuda Hunt Hump Days. So every time I am Masuda hunting in Pokemon Shield, she's the one on the team. I recently named her Sunnyside. We have Aura the Weavile. Aura is actually a drag cousin of Merida Knight, which we found out after recording the season. Aura is an icy queen who originates from the northern tip of Paldea, where the ice meets the sea, and travelers get a bit of peace from the cold. But don't get it twisted. This icon is nothing but hot. Aura might give a strong impression, but that impression will also last. She wants to be a Pretty Pink superstar. We have Belly, the Chimecho. Belly is from my original playthrough of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, and while that might not be that playthrough might be lost media, Belly was an icon in the playthrough. And if you don't remember, you don't remember. Hi, Avant-Garde. Welcome in. Belly the Chimecho. Belly might be petite, but her legacy is bigger than almost any other queen out this season. Belly is a Sinnoh legend, and I ain't talking about Arceus. This queen's popularity rings from the underground scene in Eterna to the avant-garde scene in Hearthome to the high life of Sunyshore. Not only is Belly a champion, she's also a powerhouse in the industry. We may never see her lip sync due to her talent, but let's just say the other queens are better off for missing that showdown. Miss Marianne, the Mega Gardevoir. This diva is alleged to be a descendant of Diantha's Gardevoir. Miss Marianne has a cosign of it's Sam __ because Sam helped me name this Gardevoir off stream, and she's ready to Bisou her way to the top of the drag heap. Miss Marianne might be an alternate to the Tea Party team in my playthrough, but this mega diva is nothing but top billing in the drag scene. Watch her stun us all with her beauty and confuse us with her Psybeam after that. We have Nova, the partner Eevee. Shantae, Shantae, Shantae. Nova is the star of his own show. This baby queen is full of potential, and he's using it to evoke a feeling of hope for the future of drag, while also dazzling you with his dance moves in the same moment. This little icon packs a wallop, and his fashion will knock you out with a one-hit KO. Let's let this supernova speak for itself as the future winner of the drag race, unless we have Tamari, the Tinkaton. Tamari, the Tinkaton, originates from a historic house of drag in Paldea. This pretty pink icon is not just a ton of fun and comedy, but also an actress with a handful of production credits and nominations in the 2025 and 2026 awards cycle. That rival only the top divas in the industry. The only Pokemon that rivals Tamari as far as their popularity in the badge quest is Delta. Tamari might be petite, but she packs a wallop in that hammer of hers. Let's see if she can make a dent in the competition using her Steel Terra type. We have Maru-chan, the shiny Blaziken, known as the chicken legs of Sinnoh. This Paldean transplant really made her mark along with some of the headliners in a very eventful girly pop block. Maru-chan is named after a popular brand of instant ramen, and your love for her talent might be instant as well, if not long-lasting. This diva is a dancer, a force on the runway, and a fashion killer. Let's let this spicy chicken nugget heat you up and warm your hearts as she high jump kicks ass to get that crown this season. Hi, Sunny. Welcome in. Tina Snow, the Nido Queen, and this is the last introduction. Then we are going to get into the simulation. Another icon who wants to bring awareness to the lesser known areas of Galar, we have Tina Snow here from the Crown Tundra. Tina Snow knew, even as a Nidoran, that she was meant to be bigger than just a small town queen. This Moonstone evolved icon wants to remind you all that being in the Undiscovered Egg group doesn't mean you have to be an undiscovered talent too. Let's see if her poison jab can Venoshock the judges into keeping her around until the finale. And that is the full cast of the, what is it called? The Pretty Pink Playthrough Drag Race Simulator. And now I think we're ready to get into it. Are y'all ready to start? So for the first episode, we are actually going to be doing a talent show. I'm looking at a perfect 10. I'm telling you now, it ain't no way. It ain't no way. I'm gonna let him get away. Let's start. Okay, so let's meet the cast. We have Peachy. We are going to give them some relationships with each other. So Peachy has a strong relationship with Maru-chan. And I think that's it. Marie DeKnight should have a strong relationship specifically with Duchess because they are on the same team. Cookie has a strong relationship specifically with Miss Marianne because they're on the same team. Although it would just be a good relationship because Cookie gets to be on the team and Miss Marianne is an alternate on that team, but Duchess and Cookie have bad blood because they're the same species and therefore they're natural competition to each other. Mantra is on the same team as Delta and has a great relationship with Tamari as well, considering that they are all of the same team. Mantra has a good relationship with Aura because Aura has been off the team for a long time. I don't know if Mantra and Aura have ever been on the same team. So here's some added drama, right? We have Stella. Stella has a great relationship, a slay relationship, I would say, with Nova because they're from the same playthrough, and Stella has a great relationship with Foam. Stella and Foam are both aces of the team besides Nova. In the Let's Go Eevee playthrough, they were all icons in their own light. Beyond that, I would say that Stella actually has somewhat of a rivalry with Sunnyside due to the fact that they are both butterfly and or moth type Pokemon. Miss Marianne obviously has a great relationship with Cookie, as we know. But Miss Marianne has a bad relationship with Switchblade because they are also competitors, considering that they're both from the same evolutionary family. Switchblade is neutral to everyone. Switchblade actually doesn't know any of these contestants, but Switchblade has heard of Sunnyside. So Switchblade and Sunnyside, both being of on the Shiny Hunter teams. Hi, Sublink. They are, you know, they're like distant co-workers. They know they work in the same department, but they work at different branches, so they know of each other, but they're not besties like that. We've already done Nova's relationships. Because Nova has a good relationship with Stella and a great relationship with Foam. But that's it. Nova actually has an awkward relationship with Megatron because they're also of the same evolutionary family. Belly is neutral to most of them, but Belly does prefer the icons who have at least been to Sinnoh, which would be Maru-chan and Peachy. Right? Tina Snow. Tina Snow has a great relationship with all of the Pokemon who have been from Galar. So she has a great relationship with Megatron because they're both from smaller areas of Galar. And Tina Snow has a good relationship with Sunnyside because they work some of the same circuits when Tina is interested in doing her drag brunch moments, as well as who else? Are any of these other icons from Galar? I don't think so. Interesting. After Tina, we have Sunnyside. Sunnyside only has a strong relationship with Switchblade, but nobody else. And Sunnyside also has a problem with Stella. We already know this information. Megatron has a good relationship with Tina Snow, is neutral towards most others, a bad relationship with Nova. Okay, we can go from there. Foam has a great relationship with the icons from the playthrough that Foam was in. So that would be Nova and that would be Stella, which we already know. Foam is iffy about Delta and is iffy about Maru-chan because they're also starters. But Foam has a great relationship with Nova regardless of this fact. Aura is iffy specifically about Marie DeKnight for the same reason that Miss Marianne and Switchblade are not in a great relationship, because they're of the same evolutionary family and therefore natural competitors. We've already done Duchess and Cookie's bad relationship, but Duchess is from Hisui, so Duchess has a great relationship with the others from Hisui, which would be Marie DeKnight. And Duchess actually, because Duchess is besties with Lemon Drop, Duchess also knows of Stella, so they have a good rapport with each other. Get into it. You know, it's like when you're friends with your besties with your bestie's partner, even though they're long distance kai trade, right? Like that's the tea. Okay, after that, we have Delta. Delta has interesting relationships. So everybody has already kind of declared their relationships, but Delta and Tamari are besties. But they're also competitors, but they're besties who are competitors because they spent so much time with each other and they can't control what the audience thinks. Beyond that, Delta is a little bit iffy about Maru-chan. Guess who's jealous of Adele? Okay, beyond that, Delta is a little bit scared of, or does not really prefer Switchblade because Delta's a real dancer and Switchblade calls himself a dancer, but he's not a dancer. Delta also has weird feelings about Marie DeKnight for the same reason, even though Marie DeKnight's not declaring herself a dancer. Marie DeKnight was posting dance videos on Instagram in 2012, and we all saw them because they went viral, and Delta liked the videos, but she's not actually going to let that shit go. Tamari has a great relationship with Delta, as we've already discussed. Tamari also has a really good relationship with Cookie. They're actually pen pals, both being the pretty pink girly pop icons that they are on the teams of their own individual playthroughs. They have a great relationship because real recognizes real. But Tamari has a odd relationship with Duchess, because Duchess and Cookie don't get along, and Cookie has detailed that information specifically to Tamari. Lastly, we have Maruchan. Everybody else's relationships with Maruchan have already been declared. Maruchan has a good relationship with Belly, a great relationship with Peachy, a bad relationship with Foam, a bad relationship with Delta, and is neutral towards everyone else. Maruchan is not afraid of Nova. Maruchan is not afraid of Cookie. Maruchan is not afraid of Marie tonight, and Maruchan is going to be a professional in this. In today's mini challenge, the queens will do wigs with the pit crew. Tamari won the mini challenge, and they will get an advantage for the maxi challenge. And what Tamari did to win that mini challenge is she recreated the wig that she wears in her iconic, you know, little pigtail style that she wears every day. She just did her daytime drag onto a pit crew, and it provided fruitful. and next up on the Pretty Pink Playthrough Drag Race Simulator, we're going to find out which member of the pit crew has the best Pretty Pink prints. All right, so the contestants will now prove themselves in a talent show where they bring all that they got. Peachy will do a runway performance. Marie tonight will do a lip sync performance. Cookie will do a modern dance performance. Interesting. Mantra will do a spoken word performance. Interesting as well. Do you think Mantra's going to do well in her spoken word performance? Mantra doesn't even have a mouth. Stella will do a pole dancing performance. So what Stella's going to do for the pole dancing performance, she's going to fly to the top of the pole, grab it with her legs, and then spin downwards. And then everybody's going to be gagged because she's going to land into a dip. Miss Marianne will do a speed sewing performance. She's going to be sewing with her psychic powers, mind you. Switchblade will do a majorette performance. See, and this is what we're talking about. Switchblade's doing that whole like little kick performance, and we're already scared. But like he has these strong ass legs. Like he said he learned how to do dancing as a kid. Who knows what it's going to be like? But then it's like he does it and then he like trips or something. Nova will do an opera singing performance. Oh. Interesting choice, Nova. See, and Nova is the baby queen, so she's a little bit delusional. Belly will do an a cappella performance and outshine Nova like crazy. Considering that Belly's literally a Chimeco. Tina Snow will do a burlesque performance, and we will all be sat for that one. Sunnyside will be doing a tucking performance. Megatron will be doing a lip sync dancing performance. Foam will be doing a whacking performance. Get into it, Foam. Hold on. Not whacking. Laura will do a variety performance. Duchess will do comedy. Delta will do a standing there performance. What is standing there? Hold on. Tamari will do a singing performance, and she ate, I'm sure. And Maruchan will do a singing performance as well. Stella, Maruchan, Mantra, Delta, Sunnyside, Aura, Switchblade, all slayed. Duchess, Foam, Miss Marianne, Cookie, Belly, Nova, and Tamari all had a great performance. Tina Snow, Peachy, Marie the Night had a good performance, and Megatron had a bad performance. Well, of course Megatron had a bad performance, because why are you going to go out and lip sync and dance when you must be on 4 legs? And if we remember, Megatron's lip sync talents is very low. I don't know why she thought that was a good idea. Let's see who's in the bottom with Megatron. For the runway, Mantra, Sunnyside, Switchblade, Nova, Cookie, Duchess, all slayed. The category is white. Which is, so it's surprising that we have Delta and Foam having just a great runway, but not a slayed runway. And it's even more surprising that we have Miss Marianne only having a good runway, because you'd think that Miss Marianne, being a fully white icon, would be able to walk down the runway and really dazzle us with her own fashion prowess. You know what I'm saying? Who did the standing there performance? Delta the dancer, Delta the Voguer, Hurricane Delta did a standing there performance, but she ate it up. So for the judging, Sunnyside, Tina Snow, Megatron, Aura, Marie Denight, Maruchan, Peachy, Mantra, Delta. You represent the tops and bottoms of the week. Stella, Switchblade, Belly, Nova, Cookie, Foam, Duchess, Tamari, and Miss Marianne. You are safe. Ladies, I've made some decisions. Delta, congratulations. You are the winner of today's challenge. Mantra, Aura, Maruchan, Sunnyside, good job this week. You are safe. Marie DeKnight, Tina Snow, Megatron, Peachy, you are the bottoms of this week. Marie DeKnight, Tina Snow, you are safe. Peachy, Megatron, I'm sorry, my dears, but you are up for elimination. Two icons stand before me. Who's gonna lip sync for their life? Peachy had a good lip sync and they performed to Judas by Lady Gaga, and Megatron flopped. Oh, Peachy ate her up. You know what it was? You know what it probably was? Is Peachy did her big one. So it went to the little to the bridge of the song where Lady Gaga starts doing that little half-ass rap that she does where she's like, in the most biblical sense, I am beyond repentance. And Megatron didn't know the words. Peachy ate her up. And then Peachy did a Ginger Minge where like Megatron did something, tried to do a big moment, and then Peachy stole her thunder in like a 2-second gesture. Peachy, Shantae, you stay. Megatron, sashay away. And Megatron walks to the end of the stage, turns around, poses, and says, and then walks off. At the end of the episodes, the queens go back to sit and talk about their feelings for the episode. Exactly. Rest in peace, Megatron. Miss Marianne is falling in love with Belly. They just have a psychic connection. Marie DeKnight tries on Sunnyside's wig. Interesting. Cookie, Belly, Delta are talking a lot and they're bonding a lot. See, these are the dancing girls, the dancers and the musicians getting along. Belly and Cookie want to save each other. We have a Pretty Pink Alliance. Let's keep going. So we have Delta as the winner, and we have the losers at the loser as Megatron, with those who are low being Marie DeKnight and Tina Snow, and Peachy being in the bottom two. Let's keep going. Today's mini challenge, episode 2. In today's mini challenge, the queens will do a quiz about a celebrity. Sunnyside won the mini challenge. The celebrity in question. Who would Sunnyside's celebrity in question be? They were asking random questions about Imogen Heap or something, and Sunnyside was like, I know 3 songs. And everybody else was like, who is Imogen Heap? And then Sunnyside was like, well, I'm also an Ariana stan, so I know a lot about Imogen Heap. I know 3 songs, mind you. Megatron is the first out. And see, so Sunnyside won because she is what? Well-versed in music. Even if she's not a great singer, she's well-versed in music. The queens will participate in a dance number about Dragoton. I don't know what that is. Dragathon? I don't know. Anyway, Cookie, Switchblade, Tamari, Tina Snow, Nova, Maruchan all slayed the challenge for the Maxi Challenge. Marie DeKnight, Delta, Peachy, Sunnyside, Belly, Miss Marianne had great performances and the dance performance. And so it makes sense. We're seeing Cookie here. We're seeing Switchblade here. We're seeing Maruchan here. They're great dancers. We have Delta and Marie DeKnight, who are also pretty good dancers, also kind of having higher ranked moments. But Stella, Aura, Duchess, Foam, Mantra had a good performance in the Maxi Challenge. For the runway, the queens will bring it to the runway. The category is trains. Get into it. Shout out the Starlight Express. Tamari, Miss Marianne, and Marie DeKnight slayed the runway. And the reason why Tamari slayed the runway is because she literally built a locomotive train on the runway with her outfit right before she walked out, and then she rode in on the locomotive train that she built out of iron scrap she found around the workroom. Marie DeKnight won because she was dressed as the original train conductor herself, damsel __fly. And then Miss Marianne, she just won because she slays down boots. She's a mega Gardevoir. Like, you really can't contend with her beauty, mind you. Maruchan, Switchblade, Cookie Nova, Peachy, Delta, Belly, Sunnyside, Foam, Duchess Mantra had a great runway. Tina Snow, Aura, and Stella had a good runway. Based on tonight's performances, Stella, Tamari, Aura, Switchblade, Tina Snow, Cookie, Maruchan, Duchess, and Mantra, you represent the tops and the bottoms of the week. Nova, Peachy, Delta, Miss Marianne, Marie Tonight, Belly, Sunnyside, and Foam, you are all safe. Ladies, I've made some decisions. Tamari, congratulations, you are the winner of today's challenge. And who's surprised? She literally rode out in a locomotive on the runway that she built in 10 minutes before she walked out on the stage. What do you mean? Who's surprised? Cookie, Switchblade, and Tina Snow and Maruchan, good job this week. You are safe. Stella, Duchess, Aura, Mantra, you are the bottoms of the week. Duchess and Mantra, you are safe. Stella, Aura, I'm sorry, my dears, but you are up for elimination. Good luck and don't fuck it up. The lip sync song is Envolver by Anita. I do not know that song. Let's see what that is. Stella pulled out a microphone and had a great lip sync. Stella pulled out a microphone and slayed the hell out of Aura. Aura had a bad lip sync because Aura, even though Aura is from Paldea, Aura has a lisp, so you can't see the words coming out of her mouth. So you would think, you know, since this is a song in Spanish, that this would be really easy for Aura because Aura is Paldean. They speak Spanish in Paldea. But no, unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, no. Stella took the show. And there we go. Stella, Shantae, you stay. Aura, sashay away. And Aura walks to the back of the stage. Not Aura being a... But honestly, okay, imagine being a No Sabo kid though in Spain. In Spain. So unfortunately, Aura had to sashay away and she walks to the end of the stage and what does she say? Right, Robbie, right. That is crazy. What is Aura's line, huh? I mean, cause like it's sad because like you know like we're losing all the girls who are named after the good songs. We still have Marie tonight. I think Aura walks off and she's angry because she has a big ego and so she thought that she was gonna be in here for at least longer. She didn't necessarily think she was gonna win when she saw the rest of the competition, but she was like, I'm gonna be around. So then she said, you know, so she walked to the end of the stage, she posed, she was gonna say something. We thought she was gonna say something, and then she turned around and walked off stage in anger. In the Untucked, at the end of the episode, at the end of the episode, the queens go and sit and talk about their feelings. Cookie and Peachy are yelling at Switchblade. Oh my god, not Switchblade is being beat up by two rodents. Foam is falling in love with Nova. Oh, well, they were already besties, low key. Tina Snow and Mantra talked about their families and they bond. Yes, because Mantra has a whole Mantra has a whole orchard of family members of Smolives and Dollas back at home that she is trying to inspire by being on the show. And Tina Snow talks about the low numbers of Nidorans and the decreasing numbers of Nidorinos and Nidorina in the Crown Tundra due to climate change. And they talk about their struggles. Belly, Peachy, Stella, and Maruchan are talking a lot, and the others think that they are in this together, which is not far fetched considering that Peachy and Maruchan already knew each other before this event. Switchblade and Peachy got into a huge fight with Stella. Peachy is in the mess. Oh my god. Peachy's the villain of the season already. We're not even in episode 3. Marie tonight is cheering Delta up. The dancing girlies coming together. Duchess and Miss Marianne are talking a lot, and the others think that they are dating. I wonder what Cookie thinks about that. That's probably Cookie's jealousy because Cookie has a good relationship with Miss Marianne, but Cookie has a horrible relationship with Duchess just by their reputations, and so obviously they're sitting back and talking, and Cookie's sitting behind saying, "I wonder what they're talking about," and Maruchan's like, "They're probably just like chit chatting or whatever, like everybody else. You know, nobody really fucks with Duchess because she's a bad queen." And then like Cookie is like, I don't care if she's a good queen or a bad queen. Why is Miss Marianne talking to Duchess? She's supposed to be part of my team. I'm losing my trust in her. And then like it becomes a whole drama, but it's just it's a side conversation. It never hits the head within the episode of Untucked. So for episode 2, we have the winner being Tamari once again, and we have the eliminated party being Aura. Today, there's no mini challenge. Let's go to the maxi. The queens will do outfits with thrift store items and fabrics. And they found them in all the orphanages in Lumios because there continues to be multiple orphan subplots in Lumios, and there are a lot of thrifted clothes, as well as donation bins around the region of Kalos because everybody is losing family members due to the fact that there are giant atomic weapons going off every couple of years, and nobody knows anything about them except for the elites. So of course there's going to be a lot of thrifted clothes. Anyway, the queen's performances. Mantra, Miss Marianne, they both slayed. Obviously, because they're fashion girls. Tina Snow, Cookie, Stella, Sunnyside, Switchblade, Marie DeKnight, Nova, Belly all had great performances tonight. Foam, Duchess, Delta, Tamari, Maruchan had good performances, and Peachy had a bad performance. And the reason why Peachy had a bad performance is actually because Peachy is somewhat of a Nepo baby, and also she's let this elitism get to her head. Peachy was born and raised in one of the more elite areas of Paldea before she transplanted to Sinnoh to start her drag career, and she was a headliner in her drag career from a very, very young age. She was born at a young age. And so, of course, Peachy's going to have a bad time with the thrifted clothes because she doesn't like wearing thrifted clothes. And she's also not a great seamstress. So when she's trying to put on these outfits, for Peachy, for Miss Mantra and Miss Marianne, it was giving very much rags to riches. For Peachy, it was giving rags to rags. And that's why she had a bad performance tonight. So here's the judging. Based on tonight's performance, Duchess, Peachy, Maruchan, Marie DeKnight, Mantra, Miss Marianne, Nova, Tina Snow, Delta, you represent the tops and bottoms of the week. Switchblade, Cookie, Stella, Belly, Sunnyside, Tamari, and Foam, you are all safe. I heard she was born at a young age and she was bald and naked when she was a baby. Exactly. A bald and naked Peachy was born in Paldea. Ladies, I've made some decisions. Miss Marianne, congratulations. You are the winner of today's challenge. Which is gaggy to me because Miss Marianne is so regal. And so you would think that it would be out of her wheelhouse to really like dress up some thrifted items. But then she slayed it. Clearly she slayed it. She made a ball gown out of polyester blend t-shirts. And she ate everybody else up, mind you. Mantra, Marie Knight, Nova, Tina Snow, good job this week. You're safe. Delta, Maruchan, Duchess, Peachy, you are the bottoms of this week. Maruchan and Duchess, you are safe, which means Peachy and Delta, you are up for elimination. Damsel is somewhere dancing in joy, finding out that Delta is in the bottom this week.
I don't like that.
For the lip sync, the song is Salute by Little Mix. Let's cue that bitch up. We will come back to this one. I need to hear the song. Delta had a great lip sync and Peachy had a good lip sync. But it's like you're going up against Delta, Hurricane Delta. Like, what are you going to do? Like, of course, Delta's going to eat you up. She's a dancer, she's a singer, she's a performer, she's a seamstress, she's an icon. She's a legend. She's a TV icon. She had movie and TV. Delta has been working with the greats since the day she was born. Delta was born on TV. Peachy, on the other hand, it's like these are both TV icons because Peachy was also a headliner in the girly pop block. So it's like you can't take that away from her. I'm sick. Delta would eat this song up too. Delta would eat the fuck out of the song. Okay, let's continue. Delta, Shantae, you stay. Peachy, sashay away. And Peachy walks to the end of the stage and says, I might have been the peach of the Pretty Peach playthrough, but tonight I am the apple of your eye. And then she disappears. Simply a sad, bad seed on this earth. Not too much on Delta. And you know, it was giving very much the moment where like Peachy walks up to hug Delta and Delta's just kind of like, girl, don't touch me. And then suddenly all the judges start looking at each other, are sitting there in silence like this and thinking in their heads, and RuPaul's thinking in her head, this is going to be for some good TV, but that's a bad bitch. In the Untucked at the end of the episode, the queens go to sit and talk about their feelings about the episode. Cookie shared a heartfelt moment about their family to Mantra. Cookie is saying that she's from a very small family of Beneries living in Wild Zone 6, but she knows that they're back home watching the show when they're available to do so, when they're not in school. You know? The only person who was there to take care of them was her, and so now she has to send them with her friends and her family members. Honey Mustard, the B-Drill, is really taking care of some of those Beneries. And you know, some others are pitching in too. Miss Marianne couldn't be there because she has to be at this event with Cookie, but she has somebody else looking after them. How about Hilda Sweeney? Hilda Sweeney, the Embor, is looking after these Beneries too. So she's just hoping that everything's okay back at home. And Mantra is obviously consolidating her. Sunnyside and Tina Snow plan to jump on Belly. Oh my god, leave her alone. Belly is petite. I'm sick. Put your paws up for Wild Zone 6. Oh my god. Belly, Foam, Cookie, and Duchess shared personal memories to each other. That's cute. So maybe the rapport between Cookie and Duchess is getting a little bit better. Meanwhile, this is really just editing. I think Tina Snow is projecting too, because you know Tina Snow is like, why do you get recognition for being, even though you come from an unknown playthrough, and yet I don't get any recognition, even though I was part of a DLC team, and I'm still part of that team whenever the team is a team is used in Pokemon Shield. And yet you're part of this. You're like an icon and a legend, but we don't even know where you came from. You're just here. Nova had an argument with Cookie, and they cried. Oh my god. Tina Snow tells Mantra to paint heavier to cover her manly features, and Mantra tells her to do the same. Oh, and Mantra held that mirror right back up, girl. Not too much, which is, we want to talk about projecting. Yes. You want to talk about projecting. Tina Snow just told Mantra to stop being so manly. Meanwhile, Tina Snow looks like a Nido King. Oh my god. Tina Snow and Foam are nearly twins, and Tina Snow is telling Mantra to paint heavier. Let's look at the individual relationships. So far, we have Nova and Foam in an alliance. We have Cookie and Belly, who are now friends, and we have Belly and Maruchan, who are also friends. Which would make sense because Belly and Maruchan are from the same, or have did their big one in the same region in different eras. So it makes sense. Creature! Right. So the winner, obviously, we have Miss Mariana's the winner, and we have the loser, and therefore 16th place going home, Peachy. Next episode, this is episode 4, I believe. In today's mini challenge, the queens will do a quick look about balls. And let's just pretend that ball is actually Pokeball. So everybody's dressed as their favorite Pokeball. Tamari won the mini challenge because she dressed herself as a love ball, which is very much in her wheelhouse. But she did it in a comical way. And also, as we know, Tamari is very good at, tinkering. She's a Tinkaton. So she obviously constructed a Pokeball with random scraps of apricorns just happening to sit around her area in the workroom. And she will get a small advantage for the Maxi challenge. Today's challenge is the ball, the Spanish ball. The Paldean queens better eat this up. I don't know what is it. It says the themes are España Siglo X, España, I don't know what that means. So let's just pretend that the themes here would be the ball, and they're calling it the Scarlet and Violet ball. There are 3 themes. The first theme is Kitakami. The second theme is obviously going to be the terrarium, and then the third theme is going to be Paldea. Mantra, Miss Marianne, Cookie, and Switchblade all slayed the challenge. Funny enough, Mantra is from Paldea, and Switchblade is from Kitakami, so it makes sense that they're in the tops. We have Maruchan, Belly, Nova, Marita Knight, Stella having great performances. And I think it's because Stella really tapped into her Cantonian ancestry, which is very similar to Kitakami. So she really slayed this. The others, not so much, but they were still out there. Duchess, Foam, Tina Snow, Tamari, Delta, Sunnyside had good performances. Based on tonight's performances, Delta, Cookie, Mantra. So let's start the other way. Nova, Belly, Maruchan, Marita Knight, Duchess, and Tina Snow. You are safe. That means Delta, Cookie, Mantra, Foam, Stella, Tamari, Miss Marianne, Sunnyside, and Switchblade. You represent the tops and bottoms of the week. Siglo means century. Okay, get into it. Well, we're still going off what I said, mind you. Ladies, I have made some decisions. Mantra, the plant princess of Paldea. Congratulations, you are the winner of today's challenge. Miss Marianne, Switchblade, Cookie, and Stella. Good job this week. You are safe. Foam, Sunnyside, Tamari, Delta, you are the bottoms of the week. Foam, Sunnyside, you are safe. And that means the girls who are coming from the same team, Tamari and Delta, are up for elimination, and that means that they're going to have to lip sync against each other, even though they're sisters. I'm gagged. Not the sisters. What is the song they have to do? Comme des Garçons by Rina Sawayama. And Tamari ate Delta up. Tamari, don't do it to her. Delta, and like that's crazy considering their actual stats because Tamari has a lip syncing stat of 12 and Delta has a lip syncing stat, I think, of 15. Yes. Tamari, oh my god. But you know what I think the thing is, I really think the tea is that Tamari has cousins from Lumios, right? And so sometimes she talks to them on the phone too. Tamari, you know, she's just a pen pal girly. She talks to her cousins on the phone sometimes and they speak with the French accent, so she knows how to use the French accent. So she was using that in the chorus of the song where she was like, Comme des garçons, and then Delta was like and when she started, and then like the music accidentally stopped and then Tamari started singing a little bit and she started singing the song and she said it all correctly. She did her big one and then Delta was like looking around like what the hell's going on, and they kept it on the camera even though the music skipped. Girl, it was over. It was over for Delta after that. It was also kind of the vibe of like I get like even if the gag of the century didn't happen between these two, that Tamari was really, she was being funny. She was having a moment. She was dancing, and then Delta was trying to do a bunch of splits and dips and spins and twirls, and she was really trying to attract attention, but she did too much, and that means Delta, you sashay away. And right after this moment, they both start crying. They hug each other really hard. Delta says, you have to win this for me. You have to win this for me. You have to win this for me. And then Tamari says, trust me, I will. And then Delta walks to the end of the stage and she says, she just exclaims, Hurricane Delta, and she walks off. In Untucked, at the end of the episode, the queens go to sit and talk about their feelings in this episode. Miss Marianne stole Nova's cocktail. Which is crazy. So, like, what happened was Miss Marianne and Nova were sitting there, and Miss Marianne was like, how old are you, Nova? And Nova was like, I'm 22. And Miss Marianne was like, give me your drink. And Nova was like, what? And and before Nova could even say anything else, Miss Marianne took that shit. Marita Knight wants to hook up with Stella. Oh. Which is crazy. You know what? I think Marita Knight's being messy here because Marita Knight knows Lemon Drop from back home in Hisui. And so it's like, Marita Knight's one of those pick-me's where it's like, once I know that my friend has a partner, I also want that partner. That's Marita Knight's angle here. Belly and Stella kiss and it was noticed by Foam. Oh, the girls are getting drunk backstage. Duchess and Switchblade think they are being overlooked. Switchblade was in the tops this week. What are you talking about? What do you mean you're being overlooked? Duchess is also kind of messy. Stella shared a personal memory to Belly. Right. Stella was talking to Belly about how she learned psychic. That's what it was. Okay, let's look at the relationships. We have Stella and Belly are in an alliance. Foam and Stella are in an alliance. Okay, so I'm seeing a little bit of like a... Oh. Cookie and Belly are friends. Stella and Belly are in an alliance. Belly is really a socialite, and so is Foam. You know the glow stuck in the front row. Belly and Maruchan are friends. We knew this already. Belly and Foam are friends. Nova and Foam are in an alliance, which makes sense. We already knew this. Stella and Foam are in an alliance, which makes sense. We knew this. Interestingly enough, Stella and Belly have become in an alliance here. Cookie is becoming friends with Belly, which we don't mind. We already know who's in the bottom. It's Delta, and in the top, once again, it's Mantra. There is no mini challenge in episode 5. There is no war in Ba Sing Se. The queens will improvise in a Bitchular show. Pokemon Bitchular would be crazy. Duchess and Maruchan, you get to decide your teams for today's challenge. Duchess chose Marita Knight, which makes sense. They are friends from back home. Maruchan chose Belly, which makes sense because they're also friends from back home. Duchess chose Miss Marianne. Cookie is pissed. Cookie folded her arms and started looking around the room. Please. Maruchan chose Stella. Duchess chose Foam, breaking up the alliance, mind you. Maruchan chose Sunnyside. Duchess chose Stina Snow. Maruchan chose Tamari. Those two didn't get picked will form a team. Cookie is mad as shit. Cookie is mad as fuck that she didn't get picked by Duchess, even though she wanted to get picked by Duchess. Oh, but also this is team 3 is the dream team. The teams are Duchess, Marita Knight, Miss Marianne, Foam, and Tina Snow. We have Maruchan, Belly, Stella, Sunnyside, and Tamari in team 2. And then we have team 3, which is Mantra, Switchblade, Cookie, and Nova. This is the dream team right here. They're going to go so crazy. If they can work together, they're going to go so crazy. But remember, wasn't it last episode, Cookie started yelling at Nova, or 2 episodes ago? I wonder if Nova's let it go. In their performances, Foam, Switchblade, Tamari, Duchess, and Tina Snow, as well as Marita Knight, had great performances. Mantra, Miss Marianne, Sunnyside, Nova, Belly, Stella, Cookie, and Maruchan had good performances. And it's not surprising that we see some of these more masculine characters like Foam and Switchblade having good performances. Same goes for Tina Snow. Had great performances. Of course, they're going to have great performances with the show titled Bitchler after The Bachelor. Let's proceed. The runway. The queens will bring it to the runway. The category is flower. And look who didn't slay the runway. The plant princess of Paldea. She's literally a olive wreath. Olives grow from flowers, and yet she didn't slay here. I'm pissed. Miss Marianne slayed the runway along with Maruchan once again. Miss Marianne is just the seamstress and the fashion girl this season. Marita Knight, Tina Snow, Stella, and Belly had a great runway. The rest of them only had a good runway. Based on tonight's performances, Marita Knight, Tina Snow, Miss Marianne, Maruchan, Sunnyside, and Mantra, you are safe. Which means Switchblade, Belly, Duchess, Foam, Nova, Stella, Cookie, and Tamari, you represent the tops and the bottoms of the week. I'm sick to my stomach. What if it's Tamari who's in the bottom? Duchess, congratulations. You are the winner of today's challenge. Cookie is mad as fuck. Cookie is steaming somewhere. Like, RuPaul told Duchess that she's the winner, and the screen immediately cuts to Cookie, and Cookie is standing there with her arms folded, looking around. Once again, it's the same look that she gave in the mini challenge. Foam, Switchblade, and Tamari, good job this week. You are safe. Stella, Belly, Cookie, and Nova, you are the bottoms of the week. Stella and Belly, you are safe. Oh my god. Nova and Cookie going head to head in. Oh my god. Oh my god. Duchess did eat Cookie up low key. Cookie thought she was going to come in here and do her big one. She thought it was going to be her season. Oh my god, Nova and Cookie going head to head. And the funny thing is, Nova has a status of 15 for her lip sync stat, and I believe Cookie also has a 15 for her lip sync stat, so it could really go either way here. I'm scared. Go all the way down. Let's see what the song is. The song is Buttons by Pussycat Dolls, and Nova had a great lip sync, and Cookie had a bad lip sync. Cookie, Cookie. I didn't come all this way just to land in the bottom. Yes, it like right before the lip sync, it cuts to Cookie, and she's like, "I just came out all the way here from Lumios. I know that I'm new to this, but like, you know, I feel like I've done a really good job in my region, and like everybody knows me, everybody loves me. I have people at home waiting for me, watching me. I don't understand why I'm in the bottom. I put so much work into this, and literally, I came in here, and I was literally the state flower of Lumios, and yet nobody got it. Like nobody understood. Like I was dressed as a Vileplume, and then then the producer says, Vileplumes aren't even native to Lumios. What are you talking about? And she says, but that's not the point. But it looks like Cookie's gonna be gone. Nova, Shantae, you stay. Cookie, sashay away.
Aww.
At the end of the episode, the queens go and sit and talk about their feelings in this episode. It was crazy. You know what? I really think that there's going to be a moment where, you know, like there's going to be like a split second where they show Belly and Stella talking, and they were like, we just got close. Like we just communicated with each other, and we were almost going to be put up for elimination. We need to do better next episode. Belly tells Mantra to paint heavier to cover her manly features. Once again, somebody's telling Mantra she needs to do better, and yet Mantra tells her to do the same. Bitches are coming for Mantra left and right. What if Cookie did come back? That would be crazy. Yes, the concept of Cookie flopping to buttons of all songs. And you know, I think it's this thing where it's the same thing that happened with Delta, where it's like, I think that they got set up. They thought they were going to be the dancers. They thought they were going to be the performers. They get on the stage, they do some flips and some dips and some splits. And then the other performer is performing the song. Because, you know, Nova actually is a very talented individual because she's fresh. She knows what to do, and she hasn't been tainted by the industry the way somebody like Delta or somebody like Cookie might have been. Even though Cookie's only been in this for maybe a few years versus Nova, who's only been in it for 2. You know what I'm saying? All right. So Maruchan and Switchblade kissed each other. That's a very manly kiss, I'm sorry to say. Maruchan is female. That's a very manly kiss. Duchess and Maruchan are talking about who the trade of the season is. Who is the trade of the season? Probably Foam. Loki. I think it's Foam. No, I was saying earlier, Izzy, I was saying that Cookie said that she was dressed as a Vileplume for the Flower Ball challenge, and yet she was in the bottom. She was saying that she was the native flower of Lumios, and that's incorrect information. The producers told her so, and she just was still mad about it. She was having a very egoic episode, which ultimately became her downfall. She was so jealous of Duchess that Duchess got her out. Belly, Duchess, and Nova got into a heated debate about Pringles. And Belly, being the oldest bitch in the room, the oldest queen on the season, was started going like, well, back in my day, there were only 20 Pringles in the can. And Nova was like, bitch, this is not 1942. Like, there's 20 Pringles in the can. What are you talking about? Like, let's look at their relationships. So we have Foam and Stella are in an alliance. Mind you, Foam and Stella really did not do much for this Untucked. Foam and Nova are in an alliance. That's not surprising. Foam and Belly are friends. Maruchan and Belly are friends. Stella and Belly are in an alliance. And when that's the crazy thing is that Belly gets along with everybody. So when Belly is having these like moments, like Tamari and Belly are sharing wigs. Oh, get into it. Duchess and Maro. Okay. Yes, you mean have an egg mysteriously appear next to them. Exactly. Awful late in the competition to be talking about which one of us is trade. I mean, we're only on episode 6. Let's see how it goes. In today's mini challenge, the queen will do nails and with hit pads. The queens will do nails with hit pads. So are they doing their nails with hit pads? What is that? What do these words mean? Exactly, CMB. She says something crazy and everybody's like, oh, well, she's just kind of crazy. I think So for the mini challenge, I think what they're actually trying to do is that they're all trying to do their hit pads, but they all have to put on like they all have to put on fake Eevee paws unless they're already part of the Eevee family, and that's why Nova won the mini challenge, is because he has a little bit of an advantage because he already has Eevee paws, so it's just kind of like he got an arm extension. So for the maxi challenge, the queens will bring it to the runway. The category is favorite Gaga look. Mantra and Switchblade, Belly, Miss Marianne slayed the challenge. Switchblade did a Chromatica look. Miss Marianne did the look that Lady Gaga did a few years ago at the Met Gala, where she was in the giant pink dress, and then she took off the thing and she was in a black dress, a smaller pink dress, and she took off the thing again and she was in like a you know, her little like hat suit. And then Belly did what did Belly do? Oh, Belly painted her face and did the wig from the Born This Way album cover. And that's all she had to do. She came out and then she started singing. She started telling everybody like, I'm just born this way. I'm just born this way. I am the highway unicorn. Everybody just ate her up. Mantra, you know, Mantra was gonna slay this. Mantra is the seamstress girl of the season, and so is Miss Marianne, but whatever. I mean, and I think Mantra did something a little bit more esoteric based on like a lot of Lady Gaga looks, but so like, you know, she was wearing one Lady Gaga look, like it was giving like Mantra was wearing the telephone wig, but she was wearing the poker face swimsuit, and then but she came out in the heels that Lady Gaga wore when she did the Victoria's Secret fashion show, but it made sense. It worked. Duchess, Tina Snow, Foam, and Maru-chan had great performances. Sunnyside, Stella, Tamari, Nova, Marie DeKnight had a good performance. For the judging, based on tonight's performances, Tina Snow, Maru-chan, Duchess, Foam, Sunnyside, and Nova, you are safe. Tamari, Mantra, Belly, Miss Marianne, Stella, Switchblade, Marie DeKnight, you represent the tops and the bottoms of the week. I am shaking in my boots. Ladies, I've made some decisions. Belly, congratulations, you are the winner of today's challenge. Miss Marianne, Switchblade, Mantra, good job this week. You are safe. Marie DeKnight, Tamari, and Stella, you are the bottoms of this week. Stella, you are safe. Marie DeKnight, Tamari, I'm sorry, my dears, but you are up for elimination. Oh, this is gaggy because Tamari did a really good, like, did her big one in the beginning of the season. And this is the second time that Stella's been in the bottom, but she hasn't had to lip sync. The lip sync song is Music by Madonna and Marie DeKnight slayed. But Tamari had a bad lip sync because this is a song where you really need to show your dancing prowess at, and Marie DeKnight has more dancing prowess than Tamari. Music makes the people stand together, yeah. Tamari. Shantae, you stay. Marie DeKnight sashay away. But Marie did better than Tamari. I'm gagged. I'm gagged. I'm gagged. Marie walks to the end of the stage. She says, for Hisui. She does a dip. She stands up, dusts herself off, and walks away. Meanwhile, in the Untucked Lounge, at the end of the episode, the queens go and sit and talk about their feelings for the episode. Nova and Duchess got into a huge fight with Tamari. Oh no. And Tamari said, clang, 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 clang goes the trolley. Have y'all seen that clip? I saw a clip of Ed and Eddie the other day. And it was like, and he said it was like, this is the hammer of discipline. And then he hits them. Like, that's what it's giving. Like, Tamari's gonna pull the fuck out of that hammer. Knock Nova and Duchess right upside the head. Switchblade, Nova, and Mantra drank a few too many cocktails with Duchess, and see that's what happened. They were getting drunk before Tamari walked out from the lip sync, and then they started fighting with her because when they started talking about their feelings after the episode. Belly questions Mantra's fashion choice, and this is right after in the last Untucked. Belly said, "You need to paint heavier because you look like a man," and Mantra said, "But you're an old bitch." Mind you, let's see who's the Duchess and Tamari are enemies. Belly is friends with everybody. Belly and Stella are in an alliance. Belly and Foam are in an alliance. Belly and Maruchan are friends. Foam and Stella are in an alliance. Foam and Nova are in an alliance. Basically, all the girls from Kanto are in an alliance with each other, and Belly is friends with all of them too. Belly's also friends with Maruchan, but they're not in an alliance with each other yet. Duchess and Tamari are enemies. And I'm not surprised by that, honestly, because Tamari was friends with Cookie. Remember? We said this. Tamari was friends with Cookie, and Cookie didn't trust Duchess. It's going to be revealed later, I think, that Duchess is going to be the bad bitch of the season. And really, it's Duchess who was the villain. They painted Cookie out in the edit to make it seem like she was jealous of Duchess. Meanwhile, Duchess was trying to get one over on Cookie before Cookie get one over on her. Right. So here we go. Marie tonight is gone. Do we have any icons? Okay, so we've lost one icon from Galar, one icon from Paldea, one icon from Sinnoh, another icon from Paldea, an icon from Lumios, and another icon from Hisui. So that means the only girls from Paldea right now would be technically Switchblade and Tamari. But honestly, let's not get into these kind of like side piece stats. We got a lot of shows to go through. In today's mini challenge, the queens will do nails with a celebrity. Stella won the mini challenge, and will get an advantage in the maxi challenge. And the reason why Stella won is because it was some random unknown gay celebrity who walked up, and they only had 3 fingers. They took off their prosthetic fingers in a reality show style gag, and then Stella did those 3 fingers, and then had the opportunity to do two glue-on nails on the prosthetics, and she won. Because you know what it was, it's because she felt, the judges felt, and everybody else in the room felt that since she did the charity of doing something for somebody who only had 3 fingers on their hand, obviously she deserves to win. It was a setup from the beginning. And you know what? And you know why it's a setup? It's because Stella has been in the bottom so many times. Today, they will participate in a parody trailer about Save a Queen. Belly slayed the challenge. But of course, Belly's going to slay the challenge. Belly's been rich. Belly is an icon. Switchblade, Stella, Tamari have had great performances. Foam, Mantra, Tina Snow, Maruchan, Sunnyside, Duchess, Nova had a good performance. And Miss Marianne had a bad performance. This might be the first time Miss Marianne is in the bottom, but she's not fazed by it. So we move on. Tina Snow slays the runway. The category is Born Naked. And so everybody's walking out in their natural fur, their natural presence. Everything is natural, right? Tina Snow walks out and slays the runway. Belly, Foam, Stella, Sunnyside, Maruchan, Nova, Mantra, Miss Marianne all had a great runway. And even Foam and Miss Marianne, they even went to their base forms and they walked the runways with no fear, and that's why they had great runways. Switchblade, Tamari, and Duchess had a good runway. Let's see. The judging. Stella, Foam, Sunnyside, Maruchan, and Duchess and Nova. You are safe. Which means Mantra, Belly, Miss Marianne, Tina Snow, Switchblade, and Tamari. You represent the tops and the bottoms of this week. Ladies, I've made some decisions. Belly, congratulations. You are the winner of today's challenge. Switchblade, Tamari, good job this week. You are safe. And you know what the setup for this episode is? The setup is that you know, we're all walking out, or we're born naked. We're walking out. We're not doing nude illusions. We're just showing our natural bodies. But Belly has had a lot of work done, so she focused on the face, and everybody's like, "Oh, she's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. She's gorgeous." She did something really basic and simple for her look, for her face. Everybody's like, "Oh, she's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. She's gorgeous." But it was a setup from the beginning. Tina Snow, Mantra, and Miss Marianne, you are the bottoms of the week. Tina Snow, you are safe. That means Miss Marianne and Mantra. I'm sorry, my dears, but you are up for elimination. Oh, I'm gagged. Who do y'all think is gonna go home, Mantra or Miss Marianne? Quickly, quickly. Exactly, Izzy. She came out in that natural bra and panty combo. All the girls been telling Mantra how she needs to step it up. That's true. That's true. The girls have been telling Mantra she needs to step it up for 3 episodes now. The lip sync song is Do Whoop by Lauryn Hill. Mantra and Miss Marianne both had good lip syncs. They're equally yoked. Mantra, Shantae, you stay. Miss Marianne, sashay away. I'm sick. I'm sick. Not Miss Marianne. I'm sick.
Just as I thought. Trash.
I'm sick. I'm dissociating, bitch. Miss Mary Ann, no, don't do it, Miss Mary Ann. No, Miss Mary Ann, don't do it.
I don't like that.
I don't like that, Miss Mary Ann. I don't want to watch this show no more. I don't want to watch this show. Miss Mary Ann walks to the end of the stage in her mega evolved form, turns around, looks at the camera, and says, "I was an alternate in the tea party, but I feel that the tea was spilled today," and walks off the stage. Oh, at the end of the episode, the queens go and sit and talk about their feelings in the episode. Stella tries on Tamari's wig. Tamari has iconic wigs. I'm gathering this information quickly, which makes sense because Tamari's kind of like a crafty girl. The winner takes it all. And when all of the fans take to Twitter and cancel, Miss Marianne did not have that thing, that thing, that thing. But of course, Miss Marianne did not have that thing. Miss Marianne is singing a song by Lauryn Hill. Miss Marianne doesn't have any soul. Miss Marianne is white bread, bitch. She's like when she started singing that song, and everybody was kind of like, "Girl, should you really be singing this?" Like, and y'all need to watch out for Mantra. I agree on the least. Mantra's taking it. Belly is asking the other queens who's after Tina Snow and why they're acting brand new. Duchess farted next to Belly. Oh, old bitch. Duchess sat down and farted on her and walked off. Maruchan claims that she will demolish Foam in a lip sync if they are in the bottom. Foam snaps back, telling them to have her moment. Go off, girl. Meanwhile, so Maruchan's like, I'm gonna be if we're ever in a lip sync moment, I'm going to defeat you. I'm going to destroy you. And Foam is like, I would like to see you try. You can't even mega evolve in front of me right now. Let's continue. So it was interesting, I will say. Both of the girls who were in the bottom had wins previously. We have our second win with Belly, who won twice in a row, starting her big moment. And the only icons who have not been low, or who have not been in the bottom, would be Tina Snow, Foam, Sunnyside, and Maruchan. I feel like Sunnyside's kind of falling, it's kind of getting into a safety streak, and so is Maruchan. And later on, they're going to start telling people that they think that they're really racist against fire types, mind you. Let's keep going. In today's mini challenge, the queens will do a quiz about past Drag Race contestants. Wait, the gag when one of the younger queens tells Belly she can mega evolve now? Well, maybe Belly will mega evolve in a future season. We never know. Mantra won the mini challenge and they will get an advantage for the maxi challenge because they're talking about past drag race contestants. So what they really did is they started talking about all the girls who were previously on here. But the tea is we didn't know off screen is that Mantra and Miss Marianne were actually becoming really close friends because they're both seamstresses of the season, and so they were obviously doing the sewing and like they were fashioning these outfits and stuff together, and so they had a lot of deep conversations that we just didn't see on screen. So of course Mantra's gonna know information about Miss Marianne. She's ingrained her roots and she's here to stay. For the Maxi Challenge, the queens will participate in a comedy routine about the other competitors. Tamari had a great performance. Tamari said that Maru-chan walks around in gauchos with Switchblade, and they trade gauchos and nobody could tell because they both have really thick legs, as they try to cover them up. Tamari said that Nova and Belly are fighting over who needs the most assistance getting dressed, the old bitch or the little baby. She said Tina Snow is just happy and content that nobody is fighting her for the crown of being the baddest lot punny anymore because Cookie is gone. She read the hell out of Tina Snow and Foam because they look like twins, even though Tina Snow is like, even though they're different species of Pokemon, they look like twins, especially now that Foam is mega evolved. Right. You know, she ate the girls up low key, and they're all pissed. For the runway, the category is circus. And of course, we're going to have Nova slaying the runway in the category of circus because Nova, if you didn't know, and Let's Go Eevee, the partner Eevee really does it up with the outfits. So, of course, Nova is a very versatile fashion girl. Tamari, Sunnyside, Foam, and Stella, Mantra, Maruchan, and Tina Snow all had great runways. Duchess, Switchblade, and Belly had a good runway. And you know, this is going to be an iconic season because all the girls are having great runways. The category is circus, and Nova took that personally and then walked out in an outfit from the Britney Spears circus era because she didn't want to be like all the basic girls trying to dress up as clowns and jugglers. But then Nova also started juggling all the Pokeballs in the team from the team that was in Let's Go Eevee, and she started juggling all the Pokeballs because she's a talented girl like that. Based on tonight's performance, Nova, Foam, Switchblade, Mantra, and Stella, you are safe. Sunnyside, Tamari, Tina Snow, Maruchan, Duchess, Belly, you represent the tops and bottoms of the week. Tamari, congratulations, you are the winner of today's challenge. Sunnyside and Duchess, good job this week, you are safe. Belly, Maruchan, Tina Snow, you are the bottoms of the week. Maruchan, you are safe. Oh my god. Girl, Tina Snow's about to go home. Tina Snow and Belly, I'm sorry, my dears, but you are up for elimination. The song is Break My Heart by Dua Lipa. The time has come for you to lip sync for your lives. Good luck and don't fuck it up. And they both had good lip syncs. Belly, Shantae, you stay. Tina Snow, sashay away. And the reason why Tina Snow didn't win this lip sync is because Tina Snow could not get it. Tina Snow could not wrap around her head, but she really needs to emphasize the hook of the song. Dua Lipa says, "And I'm falling in love with someone who could break my heart. Oh no!" And but Belly could give a very convincing performance because Belly is a vocalist at heart. In the Untucked, Foam is trying to start a physical fight with Switchblade. Tamari, Switchblade, and Maruchan went out for a kiki, and a bee started to chase them. A bee started to chase them. Hi, Sam. Belly, Foam, and Stella are talking a lot, and they're bonding a lot. Foam starts crying after Maruchan attacked her. Oh my god. They were just having this conversation last Untucked where Maruchan was like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you. And Foam was like, I would like to see you try. That Maruchan's getting her now. Oh my gosh. Maruchan and Nova hooked up prior to the show. So, as a little recap, for episode 1, we have the mini challenge winner being Tamari. Tamari has 2 wins now. There are 2 icons with 2 wins, and that is Tamari and that is Belly. We have Sunnyside seeing her way through the challenge with no tops and no bottoms. She's been high and she's been low, but never a top and never a bottom. Nova has only had 1 bottom, has mostly seen herself be safe. The same is true for Foam. Switchblade has a lot of high credits, but is not doing great. Because Switchblade has never been a winner. Switchblade has been very overlooked. Stella has been overlooked a lot too, but has mostly done a little bit less than everybody else. Maruchan is a controversial figure in this playthrough in this event. However, it's still anybody's game. We have Miss Marianne, Tina Snow, Marie DeKnight, Cookie, Delta, Peachy, Aura, and Megatron all out. Today's mini challenge, the queens will do a competition about a partner. Foam won the mini challenge. Today's challenge is Snatch Game. I'm screaming. The queens will do a funny celebrity impersonations. Tamari did an impersonation about La Primera herself, Gita. Sunnyside will do an impersonation of Rosie O'Donnell, because I think it's funny to just say Rosie O'Donnell. Duchess will do an impersonation of Bretman Rock. Nova will do Saucy Santana. I'm screaming. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh. Foam actually does an impersonation of Lance, the champion of Kanto, previous champion of Kanto. Switchblade also does an impersonation, but this time it's of Rika, and I don't think it's gonna, and nobody thinks it's gonna go over well, but Switchblade is like, but Rika is skinny and I'm skinny, so it's gonna work, right? Mantra does an impersonation of Raven Simonier. Stella does an impersonation of Alder from a freaking Unova, the champion from Unova, and that really pisses off Sunnyside, but they didn't really show it on screen. Sunnyside just kind of says it in the background. Belly does Marilyn Monroe because she's the oldest bitch here, and Maruchan does Catherine O'Hara, but nobody gets the reference. The funny thing is, Stella's not Latina. She's from Kanto. Okay, so Nova, Switchblade, and Foam slayed the challenge. Mantra, Maruchan, Tamari, Switchblade, Belly, Sunnyside. Oh, I said Switchblade, I meant Sunnyside. And Duchess had a great performance. Stella had a good performance. For the runway, the category is pageant. Switchblade, Duchess, and Stella slayed the runway. Foam, Nova, Belly, Sunnyside, and Maruchan had a great runway. Tamari and Mantra had good runways. I don't know why we're on the bottom of the freaking thing. The judging. Based on tonight's performance, Tamari, Duchess, Sunnyside, and Maruchan, you are safe. Belly, Foam, Mantra, Switchblade, Nova, Stella, you represent the tops and bottoms of the week. All right, I want to hear from you. Who should go home tonight and why? Belly said Mantra because of their delusion about their performance throughout the season. Mantra took it great. They weren't too mad. Mantra said Stella because the struggle was real. Stella has not done very well in this season, but she's never been in the bottom, or she's never been in the bottom either. She's never won, but she's never been in the bottom. Stella took it great. They weren't too mad. Nova said Stella gag, even though they're friends, because it's not really because not really a school for kids. It's a competition for the best of the best, which is crazy coming from Nova because Nova is the youngest in the season. Stella didn't give a fuck, but the girls are coming for Stella real hard. Stella said Mantra because of their lack of improvement throughout the season, but didn't Mantra win one time? Although Mantra did win and then she kind of went back down, right? Switchblade said Stella because of their attitude in the challenge. It's a setup. Foam said Stella because they have been failing at the most challenges and hasn't made up for it on the runway. And Stella's just taking it. Stella doesn't say anything. We continue. Foam wins today's challenge. Nova, Switchblade, and Belly are safe, and Stella and Mantra are up for elimination with each other. They did Strut by Sheena Easton. Girl, I do not know that song. We're going to pretend that they did Ungodly Hour by Chloe and Halle, mind you. And Mantra slayed the lip sync, which is the second time that Mantra has slayed a lip sync, I believe. And then Stella flopped the lip sync, showing just how ungodly she might be at lip syncing, which is actually crazy because Stella also is one who has a good lip sync stat, I believe. Like, the girls who can lip sync are really being set up this season. They have equal lip sync stats. Mantra, Shantae, you stay. Stella, sashay away. In Indie Untucked, Switchblade questions the point of yelling between the argument of Duchess and Nova. Duchess and Nova have been going for each other's necks. I think that Duchess still has residual feelings about Cookie being around, and she's taking it out on anybody she can get it out on because she's still mad about Cookie being around because she's insecure. Switchblade senses this. Foam wants to scrap Mantra. Maruchan had an argument with Foam and they cried. They're at each other's necks. Maruchan and Foam are at each other's necks. Belly is falling in love with Mantra. Belly, you need to find something else to do. Why are you... Belly is so friendly and relatable and getting along with everybody. Foam and Maruchan are enemies. Tamari and Duchess are enemies. But we already know the alliances. Foam is in alliance with what seems to be Nova and Belly. Belly and Maruchan are friends. Stella did not have a really good run. She was never in the top. Like, are really kind of weeding the girls out. I think Sunnyside and Maruchan are up on the chopping block next. If not Nova or Switchblade, but Nova and Switchblade are really high up there, so it's gonna be hard. Today's mini challenge, the queens will do a song about Pokeballs, and Duchess won the mini challenge, and she sang about the nest ball because she feels very close and near and dear to the nest ball, even though she herself is not in a nest ball and she's never seen a nest ball in real life. She just thinks that they're pretty. That's because Duchess is from Hisui, mind you. I believe Duchess is in a regular Pokeball from Hisui. Duchess, as the winner of the mini challenge, gets to decide who your team for today's challenge is. They're going to be doing a girl group number for the original song, Drag Up Your Life. Duchess chose Foam and Belly. That makes team 1, with team 2 being Switchblade, Sunnyside, and Mantra. Yikes. And then we have Maruchan, Tamari, and Nova as team 3. For their performances, Maruchan slayed. Tamari, Sunnyside, Switchblade, Nova, and Foam had a great performance. Mantra and Duchess had a good performance, and Belly had a bad performance. And I think it's because Belly really brought her ego to the situation. But also, if you notice, it's team 1 that really did the poorest, because Mantra Mantra was in team 2. And so team 2 was just okay. Team 3 did the best because all the girls from team 3 are good or great. But team 1 kind of fell to the side, with Foam doing the best out of the 3. The queens will bring it to the runway. The category is Face Kini. What does Face Kini mean? Girl, anyway. Switchblade, Tamari, Mantra, Belly had a great runway. Maruchan, Sunnyside, Foam, Nova, and Duchess had a good runway. Like the mask look, I think. A shiesty, get it to it. I mean, that makes sense though. That makes sense because Mantra coming out with the mask on. Mantra already is kind of a masked kind of diva. Belly is always giving face, so Belly came out with something that was really dazzling. Switchblade and Tamari, you know, they don't necessarily like all four of these, like the three of them except for Belly, all cover their face in some way with their naturally, and then Belly comes out and did like a really good gag, like. Anyway, not too much on me. Not too much on me. I knew what a shiesty was. Don't ask me why. Maruchan, Tamari, and Nova, you are safe. Switchblade, Foam, Belly, Sunnyside, Mantra, Duchess. You represent the tops and the bottoms of the week. Sunnyside, Switchblade, and Mantra. Congratulations, you are the winning team of today's challenge. Belly, Duchess, and Foam, you are the bottoms of the week. Foam, you are safe. Duchess, Belly, I'm sorry, my dears, but you are up for elimination. And the lip sync song is Hold My Hand by Jess Glynn. Duchess had a great lip sync, and Belly had a good lip sync. Duchess, Shantae, you stay. Belly, sashay away. I'm gagged because Belly was the first one to have 2 wins. Nothing beats a Jetsu holiday. Foam screamed, I'm from Chicago. I'm from Chicago. Where's Foam from? I'm from Kanto, to Switchblade. And Switchblade's just sitting there like, girl, what are you talking about? Meanwhile, I think the majority of the Pokemon in here are from Paldea, or they've had a relationship to the region of Paldea. Nova and Switchblade share a cocktail. Maruchan tries on Tamari's wig. Everybody's trying on Tamari's wig. Everybody's trying on Tamari's wig. I don't care. Everybody's trying on Tamari's wig. Tamari is the wig girl. She's a wig queen. Sunnyside calls out Maruchan for having a phone. Foam flirts with Duchess. Oh, girl. Sunnyside finally getting into the drama. Like, step it up, Sunny. You've been falling to the side. Okay, yeah. So the first icon that we had with 2 wins is now gone, which means that right now the one with the best track record is actually Need Some Love in Your Lonely World. It would actually be Switchblade because Switchblade has been in the top so many times. But based on wins alone, it would be Mantra. The only reason is because Mantra has been in the bottom so much recently, which makes sense why they were coming for Mantra, but it's considered a win for all of them, so they all get a partial win. In today's mini challenge, the queens will do a competition about a champion of the Pokemon world. Mantra won the mini challenge because she talked once again about La Primera, Gita, and got a huge advantage in the Maxi Challenge. In the Maxi Challenge, the queens will do a commercial named... What the hell does that even say? They'll act in a commercial named Mujeres Engañadas. What does that mean? Gita Payola, honestly, it's really giving Gita's Drag Race. I feel like Gita is very similar in essence to RuPaul. It is sick and nasty and gross out there. Mantra as the winner of today, Deceived Women. Get into it. Mantra as the winner of the mini challenge. You get to pick the teams. So there's 2 teams. Mantra chose Duchess, Switchblade, and Tamari, which means that Maruchan, Sunnyside, Foam, and Nova are on team 2. Honestly, there is a lot, as far as there are a lot of Spanish speakers who have been in or on Drag Race in some capacity. That is just the truth. But also, yes, there are a lot of, like, now there are so many global, series, so it's not surprising that they're having some kind of mixture in that. Duchess had a great performance. Mantra slayed. This is like Mantra's comeback. This is Mantra's comeback. Bounce on dick. Nova is the only one who had a bad performance. The category is country. And Mantra and Maruchan slayed the runway. Switchblade had a great runway because Switchblade is a very cultured queen in his own way. Duchess, Foam, and Tamari, Sunnyside, and Nova all had good runways. Maruchan is the only one who is safe. Foam, Mantra, Nova, Tamari, Sunnyside, Switchblade, and Duchess represent the tops and the bottoms, with Mantra being the winner of today's challenge. Duchess, Switchblade, Tamari, good job this week. You are safe. Sunnyside, Foam, and Nova, you are the bottoms of the week. Foam, once again, you are safe. But I want you to remember, Foam, you might be a mega evolved Pokemon, but you are not a mega safe Pokemon. Step it up. Sunnyside and Nova, I'm sorry, my dears, but you are up for elimination. Sunnyside's going home, girl. The song is Dear Future Husband. Actually, the song is Where Is My Husband by Ray. We're not talking about Miss Meghan Trainor no more. Nova slayed the lip sync, and Sunnyside had a great lip sync. Sunnyside, Shantae, you stay. Nova, sashay away. They said, we want to see more from you, Sunnyside, but we're going to give you another chance. At the end of the episode, we're talking about our feelings. Tamari, Duchess, and Sunnyside and Mantra think that they are the best ones in here. Okay, interesting. So they're really discounting Switchblade. I will say that. Tamari and Switchblade talked about their families and they bond. They're both from Paldea. Actually, fun fact. And they both started out as little 2 foot to 2 inch tall fairy types, mind you. Switchblade and Maruchan kiss, and it was noticed by Mantra. Again, that's another very manly kiss. And so here we are. So far, the most wins have been by Mantra, but the highest score overall so far is still given to Switchblade. Now we're entering into the top 6. I need to go to the restroom. So I will be back. I'm gonna turn the music up. We're gonna have a good time. I recommend enjoying the shiny hunting redeems in the channel point redeems while I'm gone.
walk out the door, you see someone that you know, and they ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Hi, I'm back. I have a snack. It's some freezer taquitos, but it's something, you know what I mean? We're gonna continue on. We have what? I don't know how many episodes we have left, but we have 6 left, so that's what, 4 episodes left. Let's get to see who the top 3 is. Let's keep going. Mini challenge. The library is open. In today's mini challenge, the queens will read each other. First up, mantra. To foam, I envy people who have never met you. To switchblade, this is what a randomized sim would look like in real life. Next is Duchess. To Tamari, you've come so far. Initially, your makeup was kind of busted and your outfits were a mess and your personality was super grating. But look how far you've come now. You are much older. To Switchblade from Duchess. I love what you've done with your hair. How do you get it to come out of your nostrils like that? Next is Switchblade. To Foam. Be more like John Cena so we can't see you. To Mantra. Honey, who canceled you and booked this gig? What does that even mean? Who canceled you and booked this gig? I'm eating, I have to eat. Maru-chan said to Sunnyside, too bad you can't Photoshop your ugly personality. To Foam, I'm returning your nose. I found it in my business. Meanwhile, Maru-chan is the one who attacked Foam. Keep that in mind. Next is Foam. Foam to Mantra. Who cares? Everybody laughs. To Mantra, you're not stupid. You just have bad luck when you're thinking. Ate her up. To Tamari, to Switchblade, you've often been referred to as a dancing fool. I just want to know, when did the dancing part get added? That was crazy. Tamari and Delta had this conversation before the season started, and then she's been saving that one. To Sunnyside, your ass must be pretty jealous of all that shit that comes out of your mouth. And last, but certainly not least, Sunnyside. To Tamari, you're like the end pieces of the loaf of bread. Everyone touches you, but nobody wants you. And to Switchblade, if laughter is the best medicine, your face must be curing the world. Oh! Foam and Switchblade won the mini challenge. I think Maruchan's being set up here. For the Maxi Challenge, the queens will participate in a roast about Ross Matthews. Tamari had a great performance. She said that Ross looks like a deli bird, but it's not delivering anything good. It's just a fat bird. And it seems that Maruchan and Sunnyside had bad performances, so it seems that the fire type girls are going to be lip syncing. For the runway, anyway, the category is the vamp. Switchblade slays the runway. Of course, Switchblade slays the runway. He is pale in complexion and has red eyes because he's a shiny Gallade. He already looks like a vampire. We're all scared. Everybody has a good runway at least. Foam and Switchblade are safe. Mantra, Sunnyside, Maruchan, Tamari, Duchess, you represent the tops and the bottoms of the week. And Duchess has won today's Maxi Challenge. Tamari is safe. Sunnyside, Maruchan, and Mantra, you are the bottoms of the week. And Mantra is safe. Girl. Sunnyside and Maruchan I'm sorry, my dears, but you are up for elimination. Let me turn this music down. The song is Get Out of My Way by Kylie Minogue. Sunnyside did the best split of the season. Sunnyside slayed the lip sync. Maruchan had a good lip sync. Sunnyside, Shantae, you stay. Maruchan, sashay away. In the Untucked, Tamari, Switchblade, Mantra, and Foam are talking a lot, and the other things that they might be in this together. Duchess told Sunnyside that she thinks her placement doesn't represent how she actually did. Oh my God! Somebody's saying what everybody's thinking. Girl, get into it. Switchblade and Mantra want to save each other. Not surprising, the Paldea girls sticking together. Sunnyside and Mantra got into a huge fight with Switchblade. Oh. So it's like, so what? So how would that go though? Where Switchblade's like, I think that we should save each other. Like we should really stick with each other. And then immediately Mantra's like, I'm gonna go and start a fight with somebody, and then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna start a fight with you. Just so that, and so really, I think they're starting a setup for Sunnyside because I think Sunnyside might actually be in here for the long haul. Tamari starts telling Foam about how somebody tried to drown her in the North Paldean Sea. And that's Untucked. We have lost Maruchan, but Maruchan was never a winner. The only other, and at this point, everybody else has won at least once, whether it was in a group or individually. Everybody has won at least once, so it is not surprising that Maruchan is out. Everybody else who has been out of everybody else who's been eliminated so far, if there's only 5 left, there's 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, there's 6 left now. I thought it was 6 earlier, but everybody else, out of the other 12 queens, there's only been 3 of them that have won at all since they've been eliminated. So it makes sense. The queen today, and today's mini challenge, the queens will do a photo shoot based on their original trainer. Switchblade wins the mini challenge. The maxi challenge, it's a makeover. The queens will make babies. The queens will make baby Pokemon into their drag sisters. Mantra slayed the challenge. She picked up a Toxel and she covered it in olives. Andalise, honestly, you said the flare blitzes and the close combats finally got to her. Those sound like cocktails. I think she's been drinking a little bit too much. Tamari and Switchblade had great performances, especially because Tamari and Switchblade should their original evolution should also be considered baby Pokemon, but they're not. And so they get along with baby Pokemon really well. Sunnyside and Duchess had a good performance. Foam had a bad performance, unfortunately. Mantra, congratulations. You are the winner of today's challenge. This is Mantra's 3rd win. I think it's her 3rd win. Tamari, Switchblade, good job this week. You are safe. Foam, Duchess, Sunnyside, you are the bottoms of the week. Sunnyside, you are safe. Duchess, Foam, I'm sorry, my dears, but you are up for elimination. Foam has overcome so much this season, and literally the episode right before this, Foam's major enemy and the only thing that was been standing in front of Foam from being an icon this season is finally gone, and Foam has to lip sync. Let's see who wins. The song is Bad Romance by Lady Gaga. And Duchess slays the lip sync while Foam has a good lip sync. I think Foam really gave it his all, but I don't think that it compared to what Duchess was giving. That's what I think. Duchess, Shantae, you stay. Foam, sashay away. Foam walks to the end of the stage. He says, I've been a go-go dancer. I've been a Squirtle. I lived in the same city as Lieutenant Surge. And this is my worst experience yet. And then walks off. They try to get they try to get the cameras around on Foam's face to try and get these after show confessionals, and Foam is walking off. They ask, are you at least gonna write something in lipstick on the mirror? And Foam says no. Grabs his bag and gets in the truck. Bitch, it's over. And honestly, when Foam said that on camera, that was when everybody remembered that Foam was a go-go dancer, because who the fuck cares about what Foam has going on? Like, we got out most of the irrelevance at this point. The only irrelevant that's still around is honestly Duchess. At the end of the episode, the queens go and sit and talk about their feelings in this episode. Also, I want you to remember that means now all of the mega evolved Pokemon who came into this series are gone. We started out with 3, I believe. Now they're all gone. Duchess is violently threatening Switchblade. Duchess is such a bitch. Oh my god. Duchess, Switchblade, and Mantra share personal memories to each other. Tamari does a mean impression of Duchess, and everybody starts laughing, and Duchess gets really mad. Because Duchess is the villain of the season. And honestly, after the season, everybody, like, Cookie was trying to be the villain to Duchess, but then after the season, everybody says, we saw what you see, Cookie. You're okay. We get it, Cookie. You're okay. She is the villain. And we're about to reach our top 4 after this next episode. Who do we think the top 4 is going to be? Who do you think is going to be out next? Based on statistics alone, it should be Sunnyside. Although Miss Marianne has over a 3 Miss Marianne has a 3.14 stat total, and Sunnyside is still lower than her, and Sunnyside's been in the series almost twice as much as Miss Marianne was. So it's really hard to say based on stat totals. Mantra's really doing her big one, though. She has 4 wins. And there's not even anyone here who has 3 wins. The reunion. The library is open, but only for the contestants that didn't get a chance to read their season cast. First up, Nova, to Tina Snow. To Tina Snow. That didn't get a chance to read their season cast. Okay. From Nova to Tina Snow. From the House of Kanto EVs. You are nothing but a brick. The next is Belly to Nova. I don't show up. I don't shut up. I grow up. And when I look at you, I throw up. Next is Stella to Maruchan. Oh. Girl, I don't think that this is appropriate. We're skipping it. Next is Tina Snow to Peachy. Oh wow, is that Dumbo flying in? Next is Miss Marianne to Megatron. Maybe you'd look good if you were 6 feet under. Marie DeKnight to Tina Snow. Someday you'll go far. I hope you'll stay there. Cookie to Maruchan. You remind me of a penny. Two-faced and not worth much. Delta to Miss Marianne. At this point, you really shouldn't make like your hairline and recede. Oh, not too much on Miss Marianne. She keeps it short for a reason. Peachy to Megatron. We're 3 meters away. You can take your mask off. Aura to Nova. I'll never forget the first time we met, but I'll keep trying. Megatron to Foam. You're not yourself today. I noticed the improvement immediately. The contestants will vote for Miss Congeniality. Delta voted for Mantra. Sunnyside voted for Tina Snow. Nova voted for Stella. Maruchan voted for Peachy. We have no repeat votes yet until we get here. Switchblade voted for Mantra. Cookie voted for Belly. Aura voted for Mantra. Megatron voted for Tina Snow. Foam voted for Stella. Miss Marianne voted for Duchess. Cookie is pissed. Oh my god. Don't nobody tell Cookie. Tina Snow tried to vote or is voting for Megatron. Tamari voted for Delta. Belly voted for Stella. Mantra voted for Delta. Stella voted for Belly. Marita Knight voted for Duchess. Peachy voted for Maruchan. Duchess voted for Marita Knight. And the winner of Miss Congeniality is Mantra. The top 5 will perform individual show-stopping performances. Sunnyside did a fusion performance of Galarian and Paldean influenced pop music to show both parts of her heritage. Mantra actually just started singing a song about olive oil, and everybody fell in love with it, even though it was really kind of a hidden ad because she's going to be starting a brand right after the show ends. Duchess performed a song about how much of a bitch she is, but she thought she was being clever and catchy with it. But the real issue is that Duchess performed a song about how much of a bitch she is, and everybody thinks she's a bitch in reality. It's not a joke. Tamari and Switchblade had good final performances, but neither of them were memorable. Switchblade did include some of his fencing, and Tamari did actually build a second locomotive train for the community and is going to be donating it after the show. The ones moving on to the final lip sync are Mantra and Duchess. Congratulations. Go prepare for your final lip sync. Sunnyside, Switchblade, and Tamari. I'm sorry, my dears, but it is not your time. I must ask you to sashay away. Who do y'all think is gonna win this? Honestly. If this was reality, I don't think that they would have given Mantra Miss Congeniality if she was also going to be a winner. I guess let's find out. I'm scared. Mantra and Duchess will lip sync for the crown, and the lip sync song is After Body by Jay Stevens. Duchess lost her wig. Duchess had a good lip sync. Mantra flopped the lip sync. Ladies, I've made my decision. The next drag superstar is oh, she flopped her lip sync, but Duchess lost the wig, and Duchess doesn't deserve it. Mantra won. I was scared. I really thought that Duchess was gonna win, and this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes the bitches get all the credit. Sometimes the bitches get all the credit. Somebody go tell Comet that Mantra won. Immediately, somebody go tell Comet that Mantra won. Because Comet was rooting for Mantra. Mantra is Comet's favorite. Fun fact. And it has been since the very beginning of the Badge Quest. You DM'd them. Get into it. Now prance, my queen. So Mantra won Miss Congeniality and winner. I think it's deserved, though. I really think it's deserved because Duchess got runner-up or whatever. But based on their stat totals, Tamari should have been one of the winners. Because it's like, there's the what? Okay, so Mantra ends up with the 3.38. Tamari ends with the 3.38. So it should have been Mantra, then Tamari, then Switchblade. I don't know why they brought Duchess all the way up from that bottom part. Yeah, Mantra took it all, but honestly, I think Mantra deserved. Also, Stella should have been Miss Congeniality because she got as many votes as Mantra. Oh, were you counting? So the memorable lip syncs were Sunnyside and Nova doing Where's My Husband by Ray. Peachy and Delta doing Salute by Little Mix. Sunnyside and Maruchan doing Get Out of My Way by Kylie Minogue. And Duchess and Foam doing Bad Romance by Lady Gaga. However, I think it's interesting because the lip sync assassins that were actually assigned to the season, we could talk about the stats actually. The ones who were declared the lip sync assassins, I believe it was Maruchan was prepared to be a lip sync assassin, but was it? Yeah, but is. But Nova was prepared to be a lip sync assassin, which I think that we saw. And then Cookie was also prepared, and so was Quaquaval. So if we look at all of the lip syncs, who won the most lip syncs and who was in the most lip syncs? We have Peachy Megatron, Stella Aura, Delta Peachy. Peachy is in 2. Tamari Delta. Delta is in 2 as of now. Nova Cookie. Tamari is in 2. Marie Tonight. Mantra is in now, has been in 1. Miss Marianne. Belly Tina Snow. So who is it? It looks like Mantra 1 2. Peachy 1 1. Stella 1 1. Sunnyside 1 2. Duchess 1 2. Yeah, it's kind of giving Mantra and Sunnyside. Mantra 1 3. We'll get into it. Well, and that was the Pretty Pink Playthrough Drag Race Simulator. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate all of you for being here. Yeah, I do want to remind you about one thing though, and that one thing is actually I want to remind you about 2 things. And those 2 things are movie night, which is tonight at 7 p.m. Central, which is going to be in approximately an hour from now. I'm literally going to go and lay in my bed and decide on what I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to come back. We are going to be watching Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, and then later on we're going to be watching Anastasia in the Discord server. So make sure to come into the Discord server and enjoy these movies with me. It's going to be a great time. Beyond that, I also want you to make sure you check out my socials. And I want to also remind you a little bit about tomorrow, where we are going to be actually finishing the 5th season of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. That's going to be tomorrow afternoon, also in the Discord server as well. That's going to be the last Cartoon Weekend event of 2025, and then we will pull back up with more of them in 2026. Thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate all of you. Let's do a raid. Do we have enough people to do a raid? Let's do a cute little raid. Y'all want to do a raid? I hope that y'all had a good time. I know this was actually far longer than I thought it was going to be, but I enjoyed it regardless. Let's do a raid, huh? Who's live? We could always read Gar. Comet's still live. How long is Comet going to be going, though? It looks like Comet is still starting out. We're going to read Comet. Comet is doing this charity stream, so we're going to read Comet. I will see y'all very soon. I'm going to put the raid message in the chat. Copy the raid message and put it in Comet's chat when we go into the stream. And I will see you there. Bye, y'all.